I really liked the Hoops to End Abuse app. I thought it was a really informative and different way to tell people statistics and inform them about domestic violence. I think one of the critiques I have is that if when you got a wrong answer, if they told you what the right answer was right away, I know that they do it at the end on like, you see the whole list and everything, but I think that if you got it right away, it would be more effective. From my own additional research, I realized that COVID has really impacted the women's shelters, which is a very key resource to help get women, just the basic need, like have their basic resources and needs met in order for them to leave. But because of the closing of these, they have to go back to their abuser so that, they can live in a house and everything. And this is causing domestic violence to increase as well. I also learned that when there is a natural disaster, such as a pandemic that we're in right now, domestic violence hotlines actually receive more calls. This is mostly because, when there's a pandemic and everything, there's a lot of stress on the family. You're worried about financial situations, you're worried about your kids, you're worrying about food, and it causes a lot of stress, and that can be, channeled out in really, dangerous ways that are harmful. Some of the STS things that I learned from is I really wanted to make sure that my message hit home in these ads and that these ads resonated with people. So I looked up what color symbolizes domestic abuse, which is purple, and then I looked up what color symbolized green, or symbolized hope, which was green. And so after learning these facts, I tried to color scheme it that way. So when I was talking about like domestic violence, or it was just like the little ad itself, I wanted to make sure that it had those colors on it. And then I also wanted to make sure that the images I used were effective and amplified the message I wanted to have. So if I was talking about, like the hotline, I would use like a purple telephone. Or if I was talking about, kids and domestic violence, I may use like a teddy bear, and just things that go with the message, that amplify the message and lead the reader into the right direction of what I want them to know. So and then I always made sure that I had the Hoops to End Abuse, like just the words there, if it was even just like a tiny square to the side, so that way when they read the information, if they want to learn more and they want to know like, oh, like what can I do, or where is this, or like how do I know this information is correct, they can see that, they can research it, and then they can go to the app themselves. So I think overall this was a really good and important app to have, because of just how informative it is, and in a different way it like tells people the information. But there's a lot of things to go into domestic violence, and overall it is a social issue, and I think this is the step to show people like what they can do to help and just inform them.